The lecture hall fell silent. Not the comfortable kind of silence, but the sort that makes your breathing apparatus clench and your secondary heart skip a rhythm. Professor Kilnark, our xenobiology instructor, had just activated the holding field, and inside it, something moved. Something big. I watched from my seat in the third row, mandibles clicking nervously as the creature took form. A Vexorian razor claw. Fully grown. 8 feet of pure, concentrated murder wrapped in midnight scales and too many teeth. The kind of apex predator that had wiped out 3 colony ships before the Galactic Council finally glassed their homeworld. Now then, Kilnark said, his voice trembling just slightly. He was a Thoraxian, brave enough, but even he kept a respectable distance from the containment field. This specimen represents the pinnacle of predatory evolution. Note the musculature, the sensory organs, the razor claw roared. Every student in that room felt it. Not just heard it, felt it. The sound vibrated through the floor, through our seats, through our very bones. It was a sound designed by evolution to mean one thing and one thing only. You are prey, and you are about to die. 3 students fainted. 2 more scrambled for the exits. Prilnax, sitting next to me, turned a pale shade of green that I didn't know his species could achieve. And then there was Marcus, the human, the only human in our entire xenobiology program, slouched in his seat near the back with that infuriatingly relaxed posture his species seemed to favor. While the rest of us were experiencing various levels of existential terror, Marcus leaned back in his chair, tilted his head, and said, "Ah, cute puppy." The silence that followed was somehow worse than the roar. Kilnark's eye stalks swiveled toward the human. Excuse me?" "I said cute puppy," Marcus repeated, grinning. Actually grinning. His teeth showed, and everything. "Kind of reminds me of my old dog, Rex." "Same energy." "That," Kilnark said slowly, pointing a trembling appendage at the razor claw, "is a Class 7 Extinction Level predator. It is not, in any conceivable definition, a puppy." Marcus shrugged. "I mean, sure, he's a bit bigger than Rex. And Rex didn't have quite so many. Are those extra jaws? That's actually pretty cool. Do they all move independently, or?" The razor claw slammed against the containment field. The entire structure shuddered. Lights flickered. Someone screamed. I'm not ashamed to admit it might have been me. Marcus didn't even flinch. He just leaned forward, squinting. "Oh wow, look at the muscle structure on those shoulders. Professor, can we get a closer look at the joint articulation? I'm doing my thesis on comparative anatomy, and this is fascinating." Fascinating. The human called certain death fascinating. Kilnark's color had gone from his usual purple to something approaching transparent. "Mr. Holland, perhaps you don't understand the gravity." "Oh, I understand," Marcus interrupted, standing up. Standing up. He walked down the steps toward the containment field while the rest of us pressed ourselves against the far walls. "I've read the files. Vexorian razor claws. 16 known sapient species driven to extinction. Kill rate of approximately 98% in encounters without heavy artillery. Classified as do not engage under any circumstances. Am I missing anything?" The professor's voice was barely a whisper. "Then why are you approaching it?" "Because fear is just information," Marcus said, now standing directly in front of the containment field. The razor claw tracked him with eyes that held nothing but hunger and hate. "And information is only useful if you can process it objectively. Yeah, this thing could kill me. So could a car accident. So could a bad batch of seafood. So what?" The human pressed his hand against the field. The razor claw lunged, jaws snapping, claws raking against the barrier, and Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. "See that response pattern?" he called back to the class. "Pure predatory instinct. No strategy, no patience. Just raw aggression. That's not scary. That's predictable. Back on Earth, we dealt with predators like this for millions of years. We learned to hunt them, trap them, train them. Some of us even kept them as pets." "This is not a pet," Kilnark managed to say. "Not with that attitude," Marcus replied, grinning wider. The razor claw hit the field again. Harder this time. Warning lights began flashing around the containment unit. Red lights. Very, very bad red lights. Marcus noticed them at the same time as the rest of us, but his reaction was different. While we scrambled and panicked, he simply stepped back, cracked his knuckles, and said, "Professor, I think your containment field is failing." "What?" Kilnark lunged for the control panel. Numbers scrolled across the display, none of them good. Impossible. This is military-grade technology. It can't just. The field flickered. Once. Twice. And went dark. The razor claw stood there for exactly half a second, processing its sudden freedom. Then it moved. Fast. Faster than something that size had any right to move. It cleared the disabled containment platform in a single bound, claws extended, jaws wide enough to swallow a thoracian whole. It went straight for Professor Kilnark. Time does this weird thing in moments like that. Everything slows down. You see every detail with crystal clarity. The professor's eye stalks retracting in terror. The reflection of emergency lights off midnight scales. The droplets of venom already forming on those impossible teeth. And Marcus, stepping directly into the path of a living nightmare. The human didn't have weapons. Didn't have armor. Didn't have anything except the audacity to plant his feet and raise both hands like he was directing traffic. The razor claw's momentum should have carried it right through him. Should have torn him apart. Should have turned him into a red smear on the lecture hall floor. Instead, Marcus clapped his hands together. Loud. Right in front of the creature's face. And oh, he said. Not shouted. Said. With the kind of authority usually reserved for ship captains and military commanders. Bad. Sit. The razor claw stopped. Actually stopped. Mid-lunge, claws inches from Marcus's throat. The creature froze like someone had hit a pause button on reality itself. I said sit, Marcus repeated, making a downward gesture with his hand. What happened next will haunt my nightmares and my dreams in equal measure. The apex predator, the extinction-level threat, the thing that had destroyed civilizations, lowered its haunches. Slowly, confused, and sat. Good boy, Marcus said, his voice softer now. He reached out, slowly, and did the unthinkable. He touched it, placed his hand right on top of the razor claw's armored head. See? You're not so scary. Just confused and angry. I get that. I really do. The creature's eyes, those cold predatory eyes, blinked. Once. Twice. The tension in its muscles eased. Not completely, but enough. Enough that Marcus could scratch behind where its ears might have been if it had any. The razor claw made a sound. Not a roar this time. Something else. Something that sounded almost like a purr. Do nightmare predators purr? Apparently, yes. Yes, they do. Professor Kilnark's voice cracked across the silence. How are you doing that? Marcus glanced back, still keeping one hand on the razor claw. Doing what? Oh, this? Basic animal psychology. Show confidence, establish dominance, reward non-aggressive behavior. We've been doing this with dangerous animals for thousands of years. Wolves, tigers, bears, crocodiles. You name it. Some human somewhere has probably tried to pet it. That is insane. Prilnax whispered from somewhere behind an overturned desk. Probably, Marcus agreed cheerfully. But it works. See, the thing you all need to understand is that Earth was a death world. Literally classified as such by the Galactic Council. We didn't evolve as the apex predator. We evolved alongside dozens of them. We learned to think our way around problems that could eat us. We became persistence hunters, pack hunters, tool users. We didn't survive because we were the strongest or fastest or had the biggest teeth. He looked down at the razor claw, which was now leaning into the scratches like an oversized, murderous house cat. We survived because we were clever, adaptable, and absolutely too stubborn to die. And somewhere along the way, we looked at the things that wanted to kill us and thought, hey, I bet I could make friends with that. Security forces burst through the doors at that moment, armed with plasma rifles and stasis nets. They froze when they saw the scene. The disabled containment field, the razor claw, and Marcus, casually petting it like it was the most normal thing in the world. The security chief, a Krellian named Voss, lowered his weapon slowly. Someone want to explain what I'm looking at here? Cultural exchange, Marcus said without missing a beat. I'm teaching this fine specimen about humans. He's teaching me about Vexorian facial structures. It's very educational. That thing nearly killed everyone in this room, Voss said. Nearly, Marcus agreed. But he didn't. Because he's a good boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The razor claw's tail, a spiked monstrosity that could impale a shuttle, wagged. Slightly, but definitely wagged. I watched Voss's face cycle through about 15 different emotions, landing somewhere between awe and complete disbelief. I'm going to need to file a report about this. Make sure you spell my name right, Marcus said. MRCUS. And mention that I volunteer to help with any future xenobiology demonstrations. This has been the best class yet. Professor Kilnark made a sound that might have been a laugh or might have been the beginning of a nervous breakdown. Mr. Holland, you are either the bravest being I have ever met or the most foolish. Marcus finally stepped back from the razor claw, giving it one last pat. The security team moved in with the stasis nets, working carefully, and the creature went without resistance. As they let it away, it looked back at Marcus once. Just once. And damned if it didn't look almost sad to be leaving. Can I be both? Marcus asked, turning back to the professor with that eternal human grin. Brave and foolish? I feel like that's very on-brand for my species. Kilnark's eye stalks drooped. Class dismissed. I need to sit down, possibly for several hours. Or days. As we filed out, still shaking, still processing, Prilnax caught up to Marcus in the hallway. You are completely insane. You know that, right? Been told that before, Marcus said, shouldering his bag. Usually right before I prove everyone wrong. What if you're wrong sometime? I found myself asking. Marcus stopped, considered the question seriously, then shrugged. Then I guess you'll all have a really interesting story to tell about that one human who tried to pet the murder lizard. Either way, worth it. And that, right there, was the moment I understood. Humans weren't fearless. They were just so comfortable with fear, so familiar with danger, that they'd learned to see opportunity where everyone else saw death. They'd survived their way to the stars not despite being crazy, but because of it. And honestly, that was more terrifying than any razor claw could ever be. But also somehow inspiring. Cute puppy indeed. If this story entertained or taught you something, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.